Hi, my name is Gernot Starke. I'm one of the founding members of iSAQB and have been a practical software architect since ages. I'm the working group lead for the foundation level within the iSAQB, providing the fundamental education for software developers and software architects. We are going to talk about practical tasks of software architecture, about options for education in software architecture, improving your required skills, and why you should probably take the examination for iSAQB. The Foundation Level Working Group is the group of people that's currently and ongoing discussing what's important in software architecture foundations. From the beginning of the iSAQB, the technology has evolved and even the methodology has evolved. And the iSAQB Foundation curriculum mirrored this evolvement, this evolution. So we keep this curriculum updated every 2 years actually, to keep it oriented towards the real practical needs of software architects. Actually, everything in the iSAQB Foundation Working Group is public, so it's visible in an open GitHub repository. Everybody can follow our work, can see what we are really doing. We invite you to see what we are doing and even to contribute with hints or tips for improvement. One thing we reworked from scratch is the notion of quality. It's a very common term in everyday language, but it was scattered around this curriculum here and there, and we condensed it. We clarified the meaning of the terminology, and this is a big improvement in the upcoming version. So we have a group of 10 plus people gathering knowledge from various areas, not only web systems, but embedded systems, business intelligence, data warehousing systems, and so on, to combine the necessities of involvement in all these areas and combine this in the foundation level. What we actually need for good software development is a solid technical foundation combined with methodology and team skills, social skills. And all that are topics that we address in this foundational education. People leaving education, finishing education, they have some fundamental knowledge, usually in the technical areas, but what they lack is the experience with difficult stakeholders, the challenges of practice, of constantly changing requirements, the constraints they experience in practice. Usually people in education have experience with teams of 2 or 3 people, not more. In reality, we often have larger teams, way more difficult situations. All these challenges are addressed at iSAQB in the various educations, and we begin in the foundation level addressing the practical challenges of architecture and development. Let me try to explain this from the perspective of any participant in the training. Often these are very technically oriented people, and they give us the feedback that after the training, after the challenges, the practical exercises in the training, they are way better equipped to convince their management, their business stakeholders in the architecture space. So their communication skills dramatically improve during that training, because they get other perspective, other views they can use to argument and to communicate. But in university, students in computer science are taught in their education how to solve technical problems, but not how to communicate their solutions, especially not to communicate the solutions to business or management stakeholders. And in iSAQB education, we overcome this problem. We teach them how to convince management of their technical approaches, their technical solutions. This improved communication skills helps them to get their solutions implemented helps management to understand the technical development teams, help the business to understand why they should spend money on technical solutions. So it's beneficial for everybody. The training is the first part of this education. Usually it's 3 or 4 days by 1 or 2 trainers, packed with practical exercises, combination of theory, methodology and practice. And usually people let this training settle in for a while and then afterwards take the written examination. Do the certification and the examination whenever it suits you, whenever you have the need in your projects. Content-wise, the curriculum has been fine for ages, for a very long time. So it's high-level education, high-quality education even now. In the iSAQB education, we make sure the candidates are well prepared for their daily jobs. We organize this education along the typical tasks of software architecture and software development. Let me give you a practical example. Everybody in education and university has learned about coupling. That's a topic in software development and programming. But what you learned in your education doesn't reflect reality. You have organizational coupling in reality. You have coupling between different data centers, different databases, and so on. So in iSAQB, we discuss this topic, again, very open, to ensure people really understand the implications of what they learned at university and the consequences that has in reality. The iSAQB is a very, very practical learning institution. So it's not theory, but it's hands-on. That makes people better developers, makes people better architects. So most iSAQB trainers have loads and loads of practical experience in development, in architecture, getting working software out. Within training, people take advantage of the experience of their trainers and of their fellow students, obviously, because usually people with a lot of experience come to the iSAQB trainings to experience even more, to discuss, to challenge their own experiences. The iSAQB is a great organization for getting people together with a specific background in software architecture. Most people in the iSAQB gatherings have been educated in foundation level or even in advanced level. And then now they come together after work and voluntarily discuss their problems, their challenges, and their solution approaches. The feedback from these gatherings is very positive because people meet others with similar problems, similar challenges, and they can discuss. These gatherings is something that's very special to iSAQB, to this kind of organization, because it's not focused on a single technology, it's not focused on a single product, it's not steered by any vendors or companies. So it's all volunteer work. People from different companies, organizations, even universities get together and discuss their ideas, their challenges. The technological openness is very important to iSAQB and its members and all people there, because it enables you to take better decisions, to take open decisions without the constraints of a single vendor, of a single technology. We strive for that. It's important for us. Openness is important from my point of view. So the decisions you take in your projects can be more independent. So you have a broader variety of options you can choose from. If your get-together is sponsored by a big cloud vendor, chances are high that you focus only on this vendor, on this specific technology. In iSAQB, it's completely technology neutral. Everything is neutral. No video without coverage of AI. In the architecture and software development space, AI obviously is one of the hype topics, but current AI is limited on the training data, and creativity is something which is probably difficult to train. The responsibility of software architects cannot be given to AI. You can certainly support technical stuff, taking technical decisions. You will be able to automate documentation, which saves you a lot of time, but the responsibility, the methodology, handling people, communicating to people won't be handled by AI in the near future. From my take, software architecture is still a very, very interesting field to work in, and you need your skills, your personal skills.